Love and compatibility. Can opposites really attract? Love or compatibility? Though we all strive for the sometimes elusive ideal of intense and passionate love, in reality, it is compatibility that makes a relationship work. The success of a marriage is generally measured by its length, and couples that have stayed together for a long time are thought to be the best examples of a good marriage. While initially it is love that brings a couple together, compatibility keeps it going, day in and day out and year in and year out. We are all familiar with the scenario. Two people meet, fall passionately in love, and then real life sets in. The relationship is filled with explosive fighting and periodic breakups, or at other times intense love and affection. When asked why they stay together, each person will respond that they love the other too much to walk away. Eventually, many will leave, although the divorce rate is not actually 50%, as is commonly cited. Why compatibility? It is clear that love alone is not keeping couples together. In time, without some level of compatibility, some way to reconcile the differences and live a harmonious life together, the love will inevitably fade. While compatibility can foster love, love does not necessarily bring about compatibility. Compatibility can mean many things to different people, but the basic elements include values, ideas, habits, preferences, interpersonal and communication styles that have a lot in common. Compatibility does not necessarily mean agreeing on everything all of the time, but simply working well together. Compatible couples can and will argue, but the difference between the compatible marriage and the love-hate one is that the compatible couple can generally find ways to reconcile the differences, agree to disagree, or compromise. A team effort. We tend to have a more lenient definition of compatibility in the workplace. Two team members working on a project together would consider themselves compatible not because their contributions were exactly the same, but because what each offered to the final product was complementary to what the other produced. It is the same in a marriage. We need not be carbon copies of our spouses in order to be compatible. This would likely end up being tiresome and unexciting. Instead, a solid marriage is one in which each partner brings something unique and valuable into the relationship and the home, just as in the workplace. But what about love? There is no greater feeling than joining forces with the person you have elected to spend your life with to tackle life's frustrations and challenges, whether they be purchasing a home, raising a child, or simply buying groceries for the week. Conversely, having someone to share the joys and sorrows of life, even when they do not see them exactly as you do, is equally as meaningful. It is hard not to feel a sense of love for a person who is your ally in life, your rock of support, your buffer zone from the outside world, your teacher and mentor, and ultimately your best friend. Seek true compatibility, and love will follow without question. Can opposites really attract? Have you ever been attracted to someone completely different from you? You're artistic and shy and find yourself drawn to sporty, talkative types. Or you're a social butterfly who loves to party every weekend, but your partner prefers quiet nights at home. Whatever the case may be, it's a common trope that in romance, opposites attract, like the A+ student crushing on the class clown and other unlikely pairings reminiscent of your favorite rom-coms. But do opposites really attract in real life, and can they actually work? According to psychology research and relationship experts, the answer is both yes and no. While it's entirely possible to have chemistry with your total opposite, dating or marrying someone who is very different from you can present some unique challenges. Here's everything you need to know about whether or not opposites attract and the likelihood of your relationship working out long term. What it means when people say opposites attract. At its core, the idea that opposites attract suggests that people who have different personalities, interests, and backgrounds are more likely to be drawn to each other, says Amira Martin, LCSW, a therapist and adjunct professor at Columbia University's School of Social Work. This can manifest in a variety of ways, like a quiet introvert falling for an outgoing extrovert, or a free-spirited artist dating a straight-laced accountant. Sometimes, opposites attract is less about having contrasting personalities and more about having opposing preferences and personal tastes. Like when your partner blasts country music in the car but you can't stand it, or they crave strawberry ice cream constantly but you only like chocolate. It can also mean that you outwardly appear to be opposites in some way, like having different physical appearances or belonging to different cultures. Why are we so attracted to our opposites if we have seemingly little in common with them? Lauren Korshak, LMFT, a therapist, former matchmaker, and author of The Mindful Relationship, tells MBG. People are often attracted to qualities that are either lacking or less prominent in themselves, especially when we see another person embodying those characteristics. For example, if you're generally shy or anxious, you might be drawn to someone who is extremely confident and self-assured, she explains. In other cases, opposites attract due to pure novelty. It's fun to hang out with someone new and interesting. Learning about someone's different lived experiences can be exciting, says Sean Boudrum, the sex and relationship expert at Bumble. It's a frontier you've never explored, and that level of unknown can be what sparks your interest in someone. What the research really says. Although it's a common belief that opposites attract, research shows that couples who share similarities are actually more likely to last long-term. A 2005 study of marital satisfaction found that similarity is an important predictor of long-term relationship success, with personality being a key factor in determining whether or not a couple will last. A 2017 study found that close friends and romantic partners tend to share similar core beliefs, values, and hobbies. And other research suggests too that we're even drawn to people with similar physical traits as ours because we tend to find them more trustworthy. A 2022 study about dating app behaviors found that more highly educated users were more likely to choose a profile that flagged a higher education degree as well, suggesting that even online, similarity matters. But what about your aunt and uncle who have been married for 20 years and are polar opposites? It might be easy for other people to look at their relationship as evidence for opposites attracting, says therapist Daniel Matcher, LMSW. However, when a large sample of couples is examined, this pattern does not hold. Everyone has an example of an opposites attract couple, but if you took an inventory of all the couples you know, it would probably become clear that these are usually anomalies. Some stats, however, show that opposites can indeed attract and make things work, with a caveat. A 2020 study published in Developmental Psychology found that sharing intimate thoughts and feeling appreciated by a partner in a relationship are as important as having autonomy and separate interests. So even if you're total opposites, the relationship can be a rewarding one as long as there's enough communication and common ground. The benefits of dating your opposite. While dating your polar opposite can sound intimidating, experts say there is potentially a silver lining. Here are some of the benefits of dating your opposite. 1. You can balance each other out. Clinical psychologist Chelsea Sarai, Psy.D., says that dating your opposite can provide a sense of balance in your romantic relationship. You can complement each other's personalities and provide different perspectives on life, she tells MBG. Dating your opposite can mean that your lifestyle is more balanced, too, Korshak adds. If one partner is organized and detail-oriented and likes managing day-to-day plans like finances, and the other is a creative visionary who always introduces spontaneous ideas, they can create a more balanced life than either person would have on their own. 2. You can learn from each other. If you're someone who's always been a bit reserved, dating someone who's more outgoing could help you come out of your shell and explore new experiences, Martin tells MBG. Similarly, if you've always been very analytical and logical, dating someone who's more creative and intuitive could help you tap into your emotional side. 3. You're less likely to get bored or feel stagnant. According to Boston-based therapist Angela Ficken, LICSW, dating your opposite can keep your relationship exciting and always evolving. Being with someone with different interests can provide a break from routine and prevent things from becoming too predictable or mundane, she explains. If you find this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.